isn't it? And with regard to trust, we have extensively discussed about reaction versus response. So when you're not aware, we react to situations and it will lead to anger, jealousy, etc. Isn't it? Whereas with response, we will be able to respond to situations with awareness. In reaction, probably we can say that my remote control is with the other. Whenever he switches on, I will move into reaction. So that is enslavement, that is leading to enslavement. Whereas in respond, I am in charge of myself. The reference is within me, isn't it? And the conduct is definite. And then we discussed about respect in detail in the last two sessions. And we saw that respect is right evaluation. And when we are able to do the right evaluation of ourselves and the other, there will be the feeling of respect in the relationship. So when there is right evaluation, there could be wrong evaluation. So when we are not able to do the right evaluation, it may lead to wrong evaluation. And what are the wrong evaluations? It could be either over evaluation, under evaluation, or otherwise evaluation. Right? In over evaluation, we evaluate other more than what it is. That is over evaluation. Under evaluation means evaluate the other less than what he is. And in otherwise evaluation, we don't even consider him to be a human being. Or if we consider him, we evaluate him just to be a body. That is leading to otherwise evaluation. All this leads to disrespect in the relationship. Over-evaluation leads to ego, and under-evaluation leads to depression. And with respect to respect, we have seen that the purpose, program, and potential of the other is same as mine. And so the other is similar to me, isn't it? If you have any questions regarding any of the content which we are sharing here, you may please raise hand so that mic will be provided to you. And let's have some fruitful discussion also. Then we spoke about the competence of the other. In evaluation, I am evaluating the mutual competence of the other, isn't it? While evaluating, if I am seeing that the other is having more understanding than me, I would try to learn from him. Whereas if I have more understanding than the other, I will be responsible, committed, unconditionally, unperturbed by his behavior, because his competency is low, means it may reflect in his behavior. So I would be able to unconditionally and unperturbed by his behavior and able to help him understand, provided he is assured of me. So this is called as the complementarity in the relationship. Isn't it? Now we will discuss about other feelings in relationship. And also discuss some of the issues pertinent to this other feelings in relationship, like interaction versus ragging, cooperation versus competition, gratitude versus ungratefulness, love versus infatuation, etc. So with your permission, let's move into the content of it. So, right. So now we'll move on to the other feelings. And the first naturally acceptable feeling which comes here is the affection, which is called sneh. Affection is the feeling of being related to the other. Acceptance of the other as one's relative, the other is like me. So for this affection to be there, the trust and respect has to be ensured. Trust being the foundational value, right? So affection is the feeling of being related to the other. I feel that the other is my relative. And when I have the feeling of affection, I have the feeling of, I have the responsibility and commitment for mutual fulfillment in the relationship. Isn't it? Just the way I behave with my relative. It need not be confined to the blood relations only. Do you think that it is related to, it is confined to the blood relations? Yes or no? It need not be confined to blood relations. So it can be extended to any other being, any other human being, right? And when you are not able to feel or have the feeling of affection, that will lead to opposition, jealousy, etc. These are the absence, indication of the absence of affection. And the most obvious example of the feeling of affection is in the relationship between mother and the infant baby. and we were able to connect it very easily, right? So the mother might skip her sleep cycle when the baby is not well. Maybe if the baby is sick, she may skip her meals for the well-being of the baby if baby is not well or anything like that. While sleeping, she might, if she in the middle of the night, if she finds that the baby has wet the bed, she might take the baby to the dry area of the bed, and she herself might sleep in the wet area of the bed with no complaints, isn't it? With no feeling of opposition in the mother. How is it that possible? Because of the unconditional feeling of affection towards the baby, isn't it? And let's say if you look at the babies who are brought up in the orphanage, it is said that they don't grow well in terms of their physical body because of the lack of affection. There used to be some or the other problems with the babies born in the orphanage who doesn't get this affection, the feeling of affection of the mother. Another example probably we can see is that like when sometimes a newborn baby is born in the family, and let's assume that the elder and the elder child, which is a boy or a girl, maybe 3 to 4 years old, when he sees that the mother is spending more time for the little one, the infant baby, he may feel envy or jealousy to this little baby because he is not getting the attention what he was getting earlier. So he would sometimes do some mischievous activities for the younger baby, assuming that the infant baby is the reason why he is not getting the attention of the mother, isn't it? But then again, if the mother is able to include the elder boy or the girl in helping out in mending the infant baby, maybe like to bring the nappies or change the nappies or take care of the little one when the mother is not around, and he feel included, and the earlier feeling of opposition may get converted into the feeling of affection. So when there is affection, there is no opposition, jealousy. And when there is opposition or jealousy, the feeling of affection may not be able to be seen. One is the absence of the other. Opposition or jealousy is the absence of affection. Isn't it? Are you able to see this? Is this something which is you are very easily able to relate to? And when I have the feeling of affection, I have the responsibility and commitment for mutual fulfillment. when I'm driving a car in the highway and I see that one of the one of the people who is walking on the road or is traveling in a bike was hurt in an accident, even though I don't know that person, if nobody is there to help, I will stop my journey, keep my vehicle on the roadside, and help that person who is in need, isn't it? I don't know that person, but I feel, and because I have the feeling of affection towards the other self, isn't it? I act out of my commitment when I have the feeling of affection. Even though a war is happening in Ukraine, and I see the pictures of small children being affected, being wounded in war, I feel the pain inside me, isn't it? Right? So that's what affection is. It's the feeling that the other is my relative. Now we'll see what we call as ragging and interaction. So let's look at what is interaction first. How do you feel when a relative comes or a friend comes to your family? We feel happy about it, isn't it? We want to share many things with them and also listen from them. Then we exchange of feelings and words to satisfy all of us. And that's interaction, isn't it? Sometimes in the case that there is no place or there is no space for bed for my friend who has come, I would give my bed to him and sleep in the sofa in the living room, isn't it? I would take him and show to the nearby tourist places and all, right? I would introduce him to my friends in my locality. I would specially ask my mother to prepare dishes for my friend, isn't it? Here we feel connected with them, take care of their immediate needs, and facilitate them to set their things in order, isn't it? So that is interaction. So I have the feeling of affection in the case of interaction. But what will happen when the new batch of students come to our college? Is this the same feeling of affection I have for them? Or is it that we are not able to see this relationship with the newcomers? And we tease them, make fun of them, just for the sake of the fun. Is it what is happening? Have a look at yourself. We are not concerned about its impact on the newcomer. Of course, it hurts the other, is it? Isn't it? And that is what is bragging. Isn't it? Can you recall how does it feel when you are hurt by someone? How many days, months, years it disturbed you? To tell an example, my personal example itself. When I was a young boy, maybe of the age of maybe 5 or 6 years old. And there was some work going on at my house. And this worker, he has put a stairs on, there's a small toilet kind of thing, single floor. And he has put a stair on that. And he has climbed on the stairs onto the roof of the toilet, and he's working there. So I was curious about that, and I wanted to see what is there. I told him that I also wanted to come upstairs. Being a small boy, he just shouted at me. His intention might be right. He doesn't want me to get hurt by climbing up the stairs, me being a little boy. But his shouting, I was hurt. And for quite long years, whenever I see that person, I will have this feeling of opposition. I won't look at him. I didn't interact with him at all after that. So the same way, a boy who is getting ragged, when he is also getting hurt by someone, sometimes it may get hold on for quite a long time. Is it wise, a normal mental status, to seek enjoyment but hurting others? We'll have to look into ourselves and see that. Isn't it? When we compare interaction and ragging, we can see that a welcoming, healthy interaction is a must, because we are a member of the same institute, family. We'll be staying together for 3 to 4 years, isn't it? If it is an engineering college, there will be a 4-year stint, right, in the college. And with the immediate seniors, we might have been staying there for 3 years. If it's a diploma students, it might be less, maybe 1 year less than that. We may have to interact for many occasions. Maybe if it is an NSS program, it's an arts club program, right? Sports program, or anything similar to that. We may need to interact with them. Chamundeshwari Didi is saying nowadays ragging is almost prohibited in college. Yeah, true, Didi. It is nice to see that the ragging is almost prohibited. But still, you can see some institutions where the interaction is not happening so. Even though ragging might be prohibited by the rule of law in the institution very strictly, but there may be chances when the seniors get to interact with the juniors, and sometimes it may lead to not healthy relationship or healthy interactions. Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So when we are related to each other, we want to know each other so that we can be of help for each other in the process of understanding and learning together. We can co-work together. We can complement together. We can collaborate together, work as a team for the purpose of the conduction of the events and festivals and all those things. So there should be interaction rather than lagging, isn't it? So The assignment is suggest few ways to develop affection between senior and junior batches. So what we have seen so far is about the affection, which is a natural acceptable feeling. The feeling that the other is my relative. That's what we discussed as affection. Now we will see what excellence is. All of us want to excel in life, isn't it? So we need to understand what excellence is about. Is it about being better than other in a particular area of life? Or is it something else? What do you think? Is it about being better than another? Or is it something else? Didi saying fresher party is celebrated within first 15 days of new admission nowadays. If it is being done, so it's good, Didi. Nice, right? Didi might be referring to the issues related to ragging, isn't it? Right. Thank you for sharing. So let's see, what is this excellence about? We will also explore the program for excellence. Is it through competition or is it through collaboration? Let's see deeper into this. If you have any sharings with respect to excellence, you can raise your hand so that mic will be provided to you. Let's see, first of all, what is excellence? Excellence is understanding harmony and living in harmony, which may eventually lead to continuous happiness. And this understanding harmony and living in harmony may be at all the 4 levels of my being, as an individual, human being, as a member of the family, as a member of society, as a unit of nature and existence. So the first part is about understanding the harmony, and the next part is about living in harmony, and it will lead to continuity of happiness within me. That's what we call it as excellence. And we can say that it is the completeness of right understanding, excellence. Making effort for excellence and competing with the other is not the same thing, isn't it? In excellence, one helps to bring the other to his or her level, whereas in competition, he or she hinders the other from reaching to his or her level. Isn't it? So there is a question for self-reflection. How many students in the class can understand? And how many students can come first in class? This is a question which we can ponder upon. Isn't it? So let's assume that there's a class of 60 students who is learning structural engineering. So let's assume that all the students have come after passing their entrance test and is in the class of the students learning this course. And if they are all working together, in the sense like if one of these student is not good at structural engineering, he is being helped by his fellow peer student so that the other person, the weak student, is able to understand the concept. Right? If that is the case, how many students in the class can understand the concept? What do you think? Almost all. Isn't it? All can achieve excellence. All can understand the concept. The possibility is there, provided they are putting an effort for understanding the concept. But then again, how many students can come first in the class, the topper? Only one can come as the topper, isn't it? If any of you have any reflections, you can share it here. So in excellence, which means that for working for excellence, everyone can excel. Whereas if you are competing with one another, only one person can come at the top. And he can only be the special one. Isn't it? And he would like to, if at all he wanted to stay in the top as a topper, he may not allow others to come to his level. He may inhibit them, isn't it? So that is not a nice feeling, isn't it? If at all we are comparing excellence and competition. Yeah, Chamundeshwari Didi is raised her hand. Didi.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
Namaste. Yeah.
Bhaiya, here I have a doubt. It is not always necessary that the person who is on the top is always trying to provide hindrance for the others to come to the top. He may be helping the others also, but because of his competence level is more than the others, he may be on the top. So we cannot always say, yes, Bhaiya.
Gee, that's also right. So it can be like this, that they are working for excellence, they are collaborating, and even then one person is coming as the topper.
Yes.
If that is the case, there won't be the feeling of competition there in the class.
Yes.
That's true. You are perfectly right. But is it what we see generally in the situations among students now?
No, that is not there. But sometimes, in some cases, we can see it.
Yes.
Of course, if it is very rarely, but still, in some cases, we are able to.
Very true. Very rarely we are seeing. And what we see most of the time is that we are seeing competition. And we are
Yes.
seeing that the ambience in the class is not positive. They are competing with each other, especially when we talked about competitive exams and all. There may be cutthroat competition. Person may not share his notebooks or study materials or share the content he has with the other. Things like that is happening what we mostly see, isn't it?
Yes. Bhaiya, here there is one more thing also what I observe in my classes.
Yeah.
Whenever we are conducting an exam, always the people, the students try to help the others. Like
Mhm.
in exam, actually, they are not supposed to talk to anyone or help others. But
Mhm.
these people, whatever little they know, they try to share it with others in the exam.
Mhm.
So how do we see this, Bhaiya?
Nice.
Because in competition, they should not, they should have the feeling that no, no, I should not help anyone, I should be on the top.
Yeah. So,
But we see this also
yeah,
during exam.
yeah. So then again, we have to check whether when the one person is showing his answer paper or doing a malpractice,
Mm.
is it really helping the other?
Mm.
He may get a few 1 or 2 marks more.
Yes.
Other than that, will
Mm.
he be having that knowledge about that question when he is copying from the other person?
Yes.
No, right?
Mm.
So literally, he is not helping him, the other. Rather,
Mm.
he is risking his, what you call, his life itself, we can say. Because if the examiner is caught, is catching this person, the person who is knowing everything, but he is in the feeling of helping the other, maybe because of the peer pressure also, he
Yes.
also might run into trouble.
Yes. Yes. Right.
And it is, if you look at it, it is not really helping also. Helping
Yes.
is when he is helping to learn the concept. Examination is just an evaluation process, isn't it? To see how much
Yes.
they have understood.
Mm.
So there is a lack of right understanding there also, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So what Chamundeshwari Didi was saying is right. At least in some instances, we can see that there is students co-working together, collaborating together, working together. And even in that case, one person will become the topper. That's good. That's the right thing to happen. That's the feeling of excellence, working for excellence. But unfortunately, most of the times that's not what we are seeing in the current education systems. And Didi was rightly pointing out the case of students doing malpractices in the exam halls, not while studying, but in the exam halls. And we need to seriously look whether is that helping the other or actually it is spoiling the other, because the other might come in the next exam also, assuming that my friend would allow him to copy from his answer paper. And when he pass the exam, will he have any feeling of confidence that he has achieved these marks because he knows the concept? No, right? Okay. So in excellence, we are complementary, whereas in competition, we are opposed to each other. And in excellence, there is a feeling of relationship between oneself and the other. Because I'm helping the other to come to my level. Whereas in competition, there is a feeling of opposition. Opposition, the feeling of opposition is not naturally acceptable, isn't it? I may not be feeling comfortable within when I have the feeling of opposition. In excellence, I help the other to come to my level or helps the other to come to his level. Whereas in competition, one hinders the other to come to his level. He may take effort to accentuate the difference, to dominate, to manipulate, to exploit, etc. Because he wants to stay at the top. If it is a student case, he may not share his notes. He may not tell the tuition center he is going, and things like that. In excellence, one operates on the basis of his natural acceptance, and that is definite. Whereas in competition, one operates on the basis of his assumptions, and assumptions which are not verified, they may change every now and then. In excellence, there is right evaluation of oneself. I evaluate myself rightly. So I have confidence, self-confidence in myself. Even if somebody says something which leads to over-evaluation or under-evaluation, since I am rightly evaluating myself, I will be in confidence. Whereas in competition, there will be mostly over-evaluation or under-evaluation of oneself and the other. Are you able to see this? In excellence, it is self-referential. It has a holistic view. I am the reference here, right? Whereas in competition, the reference is the other, and we may have a piecemeal approach. In excellence, we have an absolute or definite completion point, whereas in competition, we have the relative or no definite completion point. So this is the difference between working for excellence and working for competition. Right. In competition, let's see, in today's worldview, what do we assume? Do we assume that there is a struggle for survival and there is survival of the fittest? Or there is a relationship of mutual fulfillment in nature? It depends on, the perception depends upon our worldview. So what is the worldview? Do we see that there is struggle for survival and survival of the fittest? Or there is a relationship of mutual fulfillment in nature? It is saying mostly there is struggle for survival and survival of the fittest. Let's go and see, do some introspection, some exploration into that. Just ask yourself, when does our understanding grow better? Is it when we help the other understand? Or is it when we try to understand in isolation? Or is it when we oppose or misguide the other? When does our understanding grow better? Yes. It is saying A, which means when we help the other understand, that is when our understanding grow better. Nice. So far we have spoken about excellence and working for excellence. So we have understood, or we have seen, that excellence is understanding harmony and living in harmony at the 4 levels, which is eventually leading to continuity of happiness. So now we will see the next naturally acceptable feeling, which is known as reverence or shraddha. What is reverence? It is the feeling of acceptance for excellence. So I accept the feeling of excellence. And excellence is, as we have just mentioned, it is understanding harmony and living in harmony at all the 4 levels, at the level of individual, as a member of family, as a member of society, and as a unit in nature and existence, which eventually leads to continuity of happiness. So reverence is the feeling I have for the one person or the people who have reached the excellence. So one point to be noted here is that excellence is in terms of right understanding and right feeling. It is different from skill. Often we get confused or assume that excellence is about the skill portion. For example, if there is a musician who is so good at composing music, he is having a very good skill in that field of music. It doesn't guarantee that he has right understanding and right feeling, or it doesn't guarantee that he has understood harmony and he's living in harmony. In fact, we can see on the other side that many people, many novelists, many musicians who are very best or the best in their skill lacks in terms of right understanding and right feeling, and they spoils their lives with that lack of understanding. Many of them, or some of them, might be drunkards, right? So these things also we can see. So the point we are trying to say is that excellence is in terms of right understanding and right feeling, and it is different from skill. And of course, while working for excellence, learning skills is far more easy. Are you able to see this? So the next portion is about the self-reflection, which we will continue in the next week's session. So there are 5 questions, which we'll take in the next session. We will try to quickly recap on what we have seen today. So we had a recap of the first 2 natural acceptable feelings, trust and respect. Trust is the assurance that the other wants to make me happy, and respect is the right evaluation. And the wrong evaluation, like over-evaluation, under-evaluation, or otherwise evaluation, leads to disrespect. Then we have seen affection, where I can see that the other is my relative. I have a feeling for the other, the feeling of affection towards the other. And it need not be confined to the blood relations only. I can have the feeling of affection towards all other beings. Isn't it? And then we have discussed about excellence. Excellence is the completeness of right understanding, or it is understanding harmony and living in harmony at all the 4 levels. So that's what excellence. Then we discussed about competition and collaboration, or competition and working for excellence. And we have seen that working for excellence is naturally acceptable, whereas competition is not naturally acceptable. Then we have seen the next natural acceptable feeling, which is the reverence. And reverence is the feeling of acceptance for excellence. I have the feeling of reverence to the one who have understood harmony and is living in harmony. Or I have this feeling of excellence for the one who is in continuous happiness and who is able to live in harmony at all the 4 levels of his being. At the being as a human being, as a member of the family, as a member of society, and as a unit in nature and existence. And we have seen that excellence is in terms of right understanding and right feeling, and it is different from skill. So with this, we will wind it up today's session, considering the time. Thank you so much for listening. We will continue this session on other feelings in the next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Please join in time. Thank you so much. Namaste. Over to you, Parishad Bhaiya.
Thank you, Dipesh Bhaiya, for this interesting and informative session. So, dear course player, we certainly like to have more such interactive session. And so we meet again next Wednesday, same time. Till then, keep exploring and keep learning. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.
Stay.